And while we're on kind of on that subject, I think maybe we also ought to address how a Bitcoin transaction actually happens. So let me walk through with you, start to finish.
Okay.
How does a Bitcoin transaction happen? So you want to buy $100 worth of Bitcoin, and say you want to send it to me. Okay, say you owe me $100, and I say, hey, I want it in Bitcoin. I don't want it in US dollars. So what would you have to do to make that happen? There's a few ways. There's the easy way, and that's you could use Cash App. You could buy $100 worth of cash or Bitcoin with your Cash App, and then you could send that $100 to my Cash App account. That's probably the easiest way for small amounts of Bitcoin. If you wanted to like transact with it. So that's one way. If you wanted to invest in Bitcoin, say you just wanted to buy $100 worth and hold it and keep it for a long-term deal. Personally, what I would do is I would open an exchange account, and there's tons of them. We'll put an exchange account link in the description. There's a bunch of ones here in the U.S. that are regulated, that are pretty much given the thumbs up by the powers that be that they can be in business. So you can go to one of these exchanges like a Coinbase or a Gemini or a Kraken or one of these exchanges, and it's just like a trading account. So you get on, put your information in, and you're given the ability to buy any type of crypto for the most part, so Bitcoin included. So you could go to Gemini.com, put all your information in, link your account to a bank account, and you could send $100 over to your exchange, and then you could buy your Bitcoin. Now your Bitcoin is going to be held in a wallet on that exchange.
How does the wallet work?
So the wallet is like an account.
Not to send you down that rabbit hole.
No, that's the next thing, right? So you buy your $100. Now where is the Bitcoin at? It's in your wallet on your exchange. So your wallet has an address. It's just like a bank account number. And that's where your Bitcoin lives, per se, when it's on an exchange.
So the Bitcoin address is your Bitcoin wallet.
Right.
At the end of the day. Okay.
Yeah. So every wallet has two addresses, okay? And you could think of each address as a key. Okay, you have your public address, which is a key, your public key, and then you have your private address, which is another set of numbers, which is like your private key. So you could think of as your wallet as a safety deposit box. So you have to have two keys to open up a safety deposit box. So one of those keys is private. That's what keeps your crypto or your Bitcoin secure. You have control of that private key. The other, your public address, is what you would have to, where I would have to get your public address so I could get your Bitcoin. Or if I was going to send you Bitcoin, I would need your public address so I know where to send it to. So it's just kind of like a bank account number. Where it becomes different is, okay, so you have your $100 worth of Bitcoin on your exchange, right? And you want to send it to me. Well, I have my wallet, and I give you the address. So all you got to do is put it in there, the amount you want to send, your $100, put in my wallet address, hit send, and boom. I get it within minutes usually. So where this becomes a little bit, that's pretty easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
You kind of understand that?
Yeah.
So where this becomes a little bit more complicated is what the thesis of crypto is all about. And that's controlling your own money, right? So if you really control your own money, you're not going to want that. So if you were investing in that $100 of Bitcoin and you wanted to just hold it for 5 years, you don't want to let it sit on that exchange, because that exchange keeps the private key. They have control over your Bitcoin. So if that exchange shuts down, or the government sends them a letter and says, hey, we're seizing all your assets,
they're gone.
Your money's seized right along with them, right? You really don't have control of your Bitcoin because it's on their exchange. So the point of crypto from the very beginning was to control our own money. So in order to do that, you would buy your $100 worth of Bitcoin, And then you would buy yourself a wallet, a hardware wallet is what it's called. And what it is it looks like a little USB drive, or it can be bigger. There's different ones. And that is basically like a mobile bank account that is controlled by you and you only. Embedded in that hardware wallet is your private key. So when you send your $100 from your exchange to your hardware wallet, now your Bitcoin is in your possession. Literally nobody can take that from you.
And that's physical.
It's a physical, it's like a phone. It's a physical device. The difference is that the private key's embedded into that wallet, into that device. Now you actually control your Bitcoin. It's the only way. So
how do you get that?
How do you get the wallet?
Mm-hmm.
You just buy it. I
Okay.
mean, there's different vendors. We'll put a link in the description down in the video too of a vendor that's very reputable, Ledger. There's a bunch of them out there, Treasure. There's a whole bunch of different types of hardware wallets. But I think anybody that's buying Bitcoin should know what a hardware wallet is, and they should set one up and use it. It's really for somebody that's investing and holding. It's not as convenient when you're transacting, and if you're trading, you're not going to take your Bitcoin or your whatever off your exchange account and then put it back on to make a trade and then pull it back off. You're not going to do that. So if you're a trader, you're going to have to trust, whatever amount you're trading in whatever exchange you have.
Right.
But if you're an investor, you should hold your Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency for that matter in a hardware wallet that you have control over. So along with that, I don't know how far we should go with this, but I think it's important for everybody to understand that your Bitcoin, when you buy Bitcoin, the transaction goes through and you see it as a balance in your wallet. That Bitcoin isn't really in that exchange. And it's not really even on that hardware wallet when you would send it to that. It's in the blockchain. Okay? What the wallet address gives you is access to that blockchain.
Okay.
Right? It's the key that unlocks that block that your Bitcoin's in, and then you can have access to it. So your hardware wallet really doesn't contain any coins per se. It controls the keys to unlock the blockchain wherever your coins are at. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So knowing that, you want to have complete access and control over your keys.
So if it's, to rewind a little bit, if it's in that block and you're on the exchange still, if that exchange gets seized, if it's in that block, how can they take it? You know what I'm saying?
Well, they're controlling the keys. They're controlling access to the block. So that's why the exchange always is going to have, and you're also open up to, because remember I was telling you a story about Mt. Gox and the first exchange and how it got hacked or whatever happened and everybody lost their Bitcoins. Well, that could happen to any exchange and does. I mean, you could probably look up on YouTube or on Google and find, crypto exchanges that are hacked. There's probably hundreds of them at this point, because it's a central point that hackers can go after. And they don't hack the blockchains. They hack the user interfaces, right? The software that allows you to interact with the blockchain. That's where they go after. And then you could have bad actors. You could have greedy, bad people, just like in any industry, that are going to work for these exchanges that could pull shady stuff. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that can happen. And hence why it's important for, I think, everybody, including you, to get a hardware wallet. If you're going to invest in this space and put money into it, you want to have a good, secure way of securing it and storing it. There's a set of rules and protocols and how to handle a hardware wallet too, but we don't really need to get into that in this episode for sure. But the important part is know from the beginning that if you're going to invest, do a little bit of research and know the best way to secure and keep control of your own investment because that's what it was designed to do. It's just not super easy yet. It's a lot easier than it was 5 years ago, and 5 years from now, it'd be even a lot easier than what it is today. But today, the best way to do it is to buy it from an exchange and then send it to your hardware wallet. They call it a cold wallet. So the cold wallet it's not connected to the internet. It's not connected to anything that's going to allow a hacker to be able to touch it.